Hey everyone, I am so thrilled to have you here for this explainer. Today, we're tackling a topic that, honestly, literally every gardener faces at some point, managing ants in the garden. I mean, whether you're just tending to a few potted plants on your balcony or you manage a massive backyard vegetable plot, you have definitely seen these tiny, relentless workers marching across your soil, usually right when you're just trying to enjoy your morning coffee, right? So, it brings up this fiercely debated question among gardeners. Are the ants in your garden secret allies, or are they destructive invaders? Well, the truth is, it's actually not a simple black and white answer. Depending on the exact situation, they can absolutely be both. So today, we're going to completely reframe how you look at these common insects. All right, let's just quickly run through the agenda for today's explainer. First, we'll cover understanding ant behavior. 2. Identifying garden ants. 3. Natural and organic remedies. 4. Chemical solutions and baits. 5. Long-term prevention strategies. And finally, number 6, important safety disclaimers. Okay, let's dive right into section 1, understanding ant behavior, the ecosystem engineer. Before we even talk about getting rid of them, we've kind of got to understand what they're actually doing down there in the dirt. I want to shift your perspective for a minute. Try not to look at the ant just as a pest, but actually as a really critical part of a living landscape. Like beavers, ants are considered ecosystem engineers. As they build their nests, they excavate soil from underground, improving aeration and drainage. Science literally tells us that a single ant colony can move several tons of soil per acre every single year. That's wild. They're basically creating these tiny underground channels that let your plant roots access water and nutrients so much more efficiently. Plus, they act as this natural cleanup crew, scavenging dead matter and keeping your garden tidy. So it really is a balancing act. On the good side of things, we've got that incredible soil aeration, the scavenging, and the fact that ants actually eat other harmful pests, like caterpillars. But, on the bad side, we have the real reasons you might actually need to intervene. Ants are notorious for farming aphids. They literally protect them from predators just to get their sugary honeydew secretions. Plus, they can deliver really painful stings, and if their tunneling gets way too extensive, it can actually loosen and weaken the root systems of your plants. Moving on to section 2, identifying garden ants. Know your invader. You absolutely cannot effectively manage a colony if you don't know what species you're dealing with. I mean, there are over 20,000 ant species worldwide, so knowing your specific invader really dictates your next move. For instance, look at the fire ant. Highly aggressive, known for swarming, delivering super painful stings, and you usually find them in lawns and disturbed soil. Now, compare that to the sugar ant, which is tiny, largely completely harmless, and mostly just looking to clean up sugary debris. Or the carpenter ant, nesting in decaying wood. You definitely wouldn't use the same heavy-duty tactics on a harmless sugar ant that you would on a dangerous fire ant colony right near where your kids play. All right, section 3, natural and organic remedies. Household solutions for ant control. Okay, so if you've identified a problematic colony, maybe they're harming your veggies or posing a stinging risk, it is time to open our toolkit. We're going to start with Tier 1, natural and organic remedies using household solutions. And honestly, you probably have half of these highly effective deterrents in your kitchen right now. A simple half and half spray of white vinegar and water totally disrupts the invisible pheromone scent trails that ants use to navigate. Lemon juice works exactly the same way. If you want a physical barrier, try sprinkling food-grade diatomaceous earth, or DE, around your plants. It's this natural powder that physically damages their exoskeletons, basically drying them out. And honestly, even just a few drops of dish soap in water sprayed right onto a localized infestation can break down their exterior and solve the problem right then and there. Now, for a slightly more stubborn infestation, here is a highly effective DIY bait recipe. Step 1. Combine equal parts powdered borax laundry booster and powdered sugar. Step 2. Put a few tablespoons of this mix onto a shallow dish or a jar lid. Step 3. Set it out right near the ant trails. The logic here is just brilliant. And okay, a little devious. The ants are attracted to the sugar, right? So they basically do the extermination work for you by carrying that fatal borax all the way back to the nest, sharing it with the whole colony. But please note, while borax is a household item, it is toxic. You have got to keep this strictly out of reach of pets and children, and absolutely avoid putting it directly into your garden soil. Which brings us to section 4, chemical solutions and baits, escalating the intervention safely. Sometimes, especially if you're dealing with really aggressive species like fire ants, natural remedies just aren't going to cut it, and you need to safely escalate to commercial products. The great bridge between natural and chemical is an active ingredient called spinosad. Basically, spinosad is a natural metabolite produced by a soil microorganism. It works by totally overstimulating the ant's nervous system. And what makes this an absolute game changer for gardeners is that many spinosad baits are actually approved for organic vegetable production. It's relatively fast-acting, and it's just a really great choice for treating individual mounds right inside your actual garden beds where your food is growing. However, if you are treating the lawn around your garden to create a sort of perimeter defense, you might run into heavy-duty chemical baits with ingredients like pyriproxyfen, hydromethanone, methoprene, or indoxacarb. Some of these are actually insect growth regulators that stop the queen from producing viable eggs. They are incredibly effective at wiping out massive yard infestations. But listen to me very closely on this. You must never use these specific synthetic chemical baits directly around food-producing vegetable plants, period. They are strictly for the lawn and ornamental areas only. And look, because we're escalating to chemicals here, we really have to talk about safety. Chemical manufacturers outline strict protocols to minimize risk, and we need to follow them. Before you apply any granular bait, remove all people, pets, toys, and food bowls from the area. Just clear it all out. Keep everyone away for the exact time specified on the label. And when you do apply granules, you have to make sure they penetrate all the way down into the turf, so they aren't just sitting on top of the grass where a dog or a bird could easily eat them. If you can, restrict access entirely by using secure bait stations, and always store your unused products securely out of reach. Okay, Section 5, Long-Term Prevention Strategies, Keeping the Ants at Bay. So now that we've cleared out the active infestation, how do we make sure they don't come marching back next season? Well, this is all about evergreen garden maintenance, and one of my absolute favorite techniques for this is companion planting. Ants rely really heavily on scent to communicate and find their food. So by planting strongly scented herbs and flowers throughout your garden, you essentially create this olfactory fortress. Plants like lavender, mint, rosemary, thyme, and marigolds naturally deter them. It's a total win-win. Your garden smells amazing, you get fresh herbs for your kitchen, and the ants just decide to go build their nests somewhere else. Another incredibly practical landscaping trick is utilizing physical barriers. Try adding a 2 to 3 inch layer of rough gravel right around the perimeter of your raised beds or garden plots. It works wonders. Ants absolutely hate crossing gravel. It completely disrupts those pheromone trails we talked about, and physically makes it so much harder for them to create uniform paths. Plus, it looks super clean, it drains really well, and it basically serves as a permanent, non-toxic moat protecting your plants. Finally, Section 6, Important Safety Disclaimers. Protect your local ecosystem. As we reach the very end of our toolkit, it is so vital that we approach pest management responsibly. So please keep this disclaimer in mind. Always consider your local regulations before applying any pest control, whether it's natural or chemical. Every single ecosystem is different. Ensure you are reading those labels thoroughly to prevent any unintended harm to non-target species, like our incredibly vital pollinators or your local waterways. And if you are ever in doubt, just consult with a pest control professional. A healthy garden means a healthy local ecosystem, and we all want that. We've covered the good, the bad, and the exact toolkit you need to manage them safely. So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder the next time you step out into the dirt. Knowing their incredible power as ecosystem engineers, how will you balance your garden to manage ants effectively? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy gardening.